It has been rumored that this X-Men reboot is currently casting actors to play both Kitty Pryde and Gambit. Now, this is also from Comic Book Movie. This is Mark Cassidy writing. When Channing Tatum made a surprise appearance as Gambit in last year's Deadpool and Wolverine, it was assumed that he would reprise the role if Marvel Studios decided to include the character in the planned X-Men reboot. But this may not be the case. According to scooper Daniel Rickman, a recent casting grid reveals that Marvel is currently searching for actors to play the Ragin' Cajun and Kitty Pryde, aka Shadowcat. This isn't the first time we've heard that Kitty Pryde would be a part of the team, but if this is accurate and the studio is also looking for someone to play Remy LeBeau, aka Gambit, it's obviously suggests that Tatum will not be returning, at least not for the X-Men movie. Tatum could still make an appearance as a fan-favorite mutant in Avengers Secret Wars, which has been previously rumored. We have also heard that Stranger Things alum Sadie Sink is up for the role of Jean Grey. There's interest in both Cynthia Erivo from Wicked and Ayo Edebiri from The Bear to play Storm. Though Marvel does finally appear to be making progress on the elusive X-Men movie, official updates have been few and far between. All we know for sure is that Michael Leslie is currently working on the script and that the director is being sought. If some of the X-Men make their debut in the next Avengers movies, which they are rumored to do, there's a chance we could get some official casting news fairly soon. During a recent interview with Discussing Film, Kevin Feige was asked how it feels knowing that we're closer to seeing the X-Men and Avengers together on the big screen. It's extremely emotional on a personal level to have done a movie with Hugh after 25 years of me being in a small part of that first X-Men movie, and knowing that thanks to various corporate studios entity deals, we now have thousands of characters back, characters I hadn't frankly thought about in many years because we didn't have the rights to them. Now that we do, it's great fun thinking about who we can finally. Our animated series X-Men 97 was sort of the first taste of people reuniting with the X-Men mythology and that storyline. The response to that series just further excited us about how we can bring the soap opera and the saga of the mutants to the MCU. Alrighty. So, you heard everything that's going on there. I really did love Channing Tatum as Gambit, but I think that probably that's a good idea to not necessarily move on with him, even though he's fantastic, because it sounds like they're trying to go young. If you're getting Sadie Sink is significantly younger. It's not to say that Gambit couldn't be one of the older members of the team, but Jean tends to be one of those older members as well. So if you're going with a younger Jean, you kind of need a younger Scott. You need a younger kind of everybody. The only one that would potentially be older, and that's fine if you want to keep Hugh Jackman, if he wants to keep doing it, because he keeps, is that. But he will age over time. So unless they're going to make him, AI him almost, God help us, to just keep him super young, he should be consistently essentially at the same age all the way through. It'll be interesting to see kind of how they handle that. But getting back to the story, I think that Gambit and Kitty are two very important additions to the team. I think we didn't get enough Kitty personally in the first few X-Men films. Obviously, Elliot was fantastic as Kitty back in the day. And so now I would just Shadowcat just has so much more to get at, and I would really love to see where that's going forward, man. And then Gambit is one of a kind. We've really only got to see him twice. One was great and one was terrible, and both of them were too short. So I would love to really get some solid love on Gambit and how that goes going forward. But all of that being said, man, we talked about the Russos taking the helm. We talked about, Gambit and Kitty. I will say I do not like the idea of either Cynthia or Ayo as Storm. Not because they're not good actresses. They are. One, they're too short. It's not that Storm is some, giant or anything like that, but she is, a tall drink of water enough. Let me see if I can find Storm's, actual breakdown here, because now you're doing the opposite. You had Hugh Jackman, who was huge, playing Wolverine, who's a shorty, and then Storm height. She is extremely tall. She looks like a goddess, and not that they don't, but I'm saying she's 5'11", damn near 6 foot tall. She is almost an Amazon of a woman with the powers of a god. And it's not to say that you couldn't make them appear taller on screen, but you want somebody that gives almost an imposing kind of element to her. She is gorgeous. She is, awe-inspiring, but she a big girl, and I mean that in height. You know what I'm saying? Like this opposing kind of force. I think that Jodie Turner-Smith would be fantastic. I got to interview her for Without Remorse. She was absolutely stunning. Like Storm, we've also needed Storm to be dark skinned. She's a beautiful dark skinned woman, extremely talented. It's got a badass element to her. She was pregnant while shooting Without Remorse, doing the action scenes, man, which is absolutely crazy. She's 5'9", so we're already moving in the right direction because, like, again, Ayo, Edibiri, height. See, Ayo, she's like 5'5", 5'6", and Cynthia's 5'1". You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to be like heightist or nothing like that, but like if we're gonna do this, I'm trying to tell you, we need a goddess, like a tall drink of water that will just as easily, like, you know, be gentle and as the summer breeze and as fierce as a motherfucking hurricane. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really pushing for Jodie personally. I hope that she's at least getting in the room to talk and audition and all that, but we'll see. We'll see what they ultimately go with one way or the other. Again, I want to know what you think about the Russos. I want to know what you think about Kitty and Gambit. Let me know about all that in the comments.